Yo, what is going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we've got the review for chapter 187 of Black Clover, and straight away I would just want to say that unfortunately this chapter wasn't very long and there's not a great deal I can really discuss about it. We didn't get any double page spread this time, which I'm not complaining about because I've been saying for weeks, months, however long it's been, that Tabata really almost needs to stop with the double page spreads every week, because we'd usually always get at least one. Occasionally you may even see like two in a chapter, and as awesome as it is, I was starting to get very concerned that Tabata may be pushing himself a little bit too far. So this week we didn't get any double page spread, but like I said, I'm not going to complain about that. The chapter was still fairly short. We did get to see Black Asta. I don't remember the last time we saw Black Asta in the manga, but going off the episode we got earlier in the week, you know, it's a great time for Black Asta to show up, all the hype surrounding him. And I don't know if it was just me, but in this chapter Black Asta almost looked a little bit different, not in terms of design, just style he was drawn in. He looked really, I can't quite pick out the word, but there was something a little bit different, a little bit unique about it, and I thought it looked absolutely fantastic. I really loved the way he looked. He just looked so, the spin he did, I think it was the spin, and just seeing him look kind of like in a freeze frame coming out the spin, he looked like an absolute badass. And you can tell that when Asta goes into his Black Asta form, there's just a switch inside of his head which just flicks on, and the next thing you know he's not messing about whatsoever. There was also some slight Henry death flags as well in this chapter, but I do feel as though they're false alarms considering he was only just introduced in this chapter and he's still extremely new. But at the same time, you never know if Tabata's going to, do a bit of a switch and kind of make us think he's going to die, but then not think he's going to die because he's new, and then bang, oh no, he actually is going to die. I don't know if he's going to do that switch, and if he did, I don't know how I would feel, because it would be expected because of the death flags, but not expected because he's new in the death flags. It's a weird one, and I'm not sure which way he's going to take it, but I think I'm siding much more to the fact that I don't think Henry will die, like I said, purely because he's new, and he's a fan favourite. Gauche has proven a lot more difficult than I initially thought he would do. I believe I said last week that the Gauche fight would more or less be an end by the end of this chapter. However, and admittedly it was a shorter chapter than usual, so maybe that kind of like knocks off the measurement of how long the fight's actually been going on for. But it looks as though it's going to be going on well into next chapter, which unfortunately there's no chapter next week. They're obviously on a holiday break, which is unfortunate, but it looks as though we're going to be getting at least one more chapter of Asta versus Gauche and Mary, which, I mean, it's fine by me. Black Clover has like light speed pacing, so if it wants to slow down every once in a while, it's perfectly fine by me. I mean, Black Clover slow pacing is like any other shonen or any other story's normal, or even to some extent fast pacing. So a slow Black Clover is by no means a slow manga. I think the main bit of information that we can take away from this chapter was learning a little bit more about Asta's new sword. Now, I can't remember the exact name. I know in the initial translation last week it was called the Demon Rune Sword, but that's not the official translation. If you actually read it through Viz's translation, it was called something like the Demon Destroyer Sword, something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure as to what it was, but essentially what it does, it just kind of like cuts the ties between cause and effect of magic. It's kind of very hard to explain, but the main thing you need to know is it makes Asta that little bit more OP, which is always great. Asta always needs an excuse just to be that slight bit more overpowered. But that was it for this week's unfortunately short chapter of Black Clover. Guys, if you enjoyed the video or the chapter, make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. Leave your thoughts and opinions on this chapter in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in another video. But until then, peace.